opera, guest interviews, entrepreneurship, tech tips, finance for freelancers, and a lot more. If any of this interests you, stick around for some epic shit. Can I even say that? Oh boy, just roll intro. What is up, y'all? I'm Rafael, and this is Operatunity. You won't believe how tempted I was to start this video with,
Hey all you cool cats and kittens.
but I also like staying alive. Okay, so seriously, I've been wanting to start a channel for years, and I just keep pushing it back and doing other things. And right now, there really is no better time. Personal pro tip, if you want to complete all the projects that you've been blowing off for years, be stuck inside during a global crisis. Bonus tip, if you want to get crazy cabin fever, increase your anxiety, and rethink every aspect of your life, also get stuck inside during a global crisis. And so we have opportunity. Obviously, it comes from opportunity. And I think that that gives us kind of a general way that we can cover a wider range of topics. And I also think there's no harm in going a little cheesy, and I love dad jokes and all that type of stuff. I also would love to use this channel as a chance to kind of deformalize the arts in general, especially classical music and opera. I think a lot of people can actually be interested in what we do, but get a little bit hesitant and turned off because they maybe feel stupid or not sure about how to approach things, and they just kind of get scared and go to something else. One of the ways that I want to do that is creating a series that I'm going to call Friend Fridays. So every week we're going to kind of have a little mini recital, and don't worry, it's not just going to be me, but I'm going to have videos that artists from around the world submit to me, and then I kind of compile them up together, and we can do art songs, we can do jazz, opera, instrumental music, chamber, whatever. And I think it'll just be something like really nice to enjoy and kind of relax us. I'll keep them short, probably like no more than 20 minutes or something like that. And it's something we can enjoy whether we're stuck inside still or after this is all over, and just kind of become a fun little tradition, as well as giving these artists a chance to kind of promote their social media platforms and any messages that they want to say. People have been saying that opera and classical music are dying art forms long before any of this crisis ever happened. And look, I know that times are tough, but I think after all this stuff really kind of blows over, there's going to be a huge resurgence of the arts in general, because people are just desperately going to be searching for something to do, especially out of the house. In the past, I think we've struggled because people have the option of getting dressed up and having to go out and see something that maybe they're not familiar with, or they could just order a pizza and stay home and watch something cool on Netflix. But right now, that's all people can do, is stay inside, watch movies, Netflix, order takeout, cook something, but they're just confined to their homes mostly. And you can be sure that they're going to want to get the hell out of there once all these restrictions are lifted. And that, my friends, is when we artists strike. Okay, so now you might be wondering, who the hell is this guy? My name is Rafael Porto, and I've been a freelance singer for about the past 9 years. I've been living in sunny Miami as an artist in residence for the past 3 seasons at Florida Grand Opera, and have absolutely loved my time there. Before all that, I was a photographer and videographer since about 2008, and I kind of created a company. And I've been very lucky over the years to work with some really cool people on some amazing projects. These are companies like San Diego Opera. If you've seen any of their production photos from their Florencia in El Amazonas, that's all me. New York City Opera did a cool video project over Julius Riddell. Indiana University Opera and Ballet Theater, I did a lot of their opera and ballet productions. And even some sports teams like the Indianapolis Colts. I got a job when I was doing my master's at Indiana University with a group called Project Jumpstart. And Project Jumpstart was kind of a think tank that was inside what they called the Center for Entrepreneurship and Career Development inside the Jacobs School of Music, which kudos to IU for realizing that that's a huge need. And so this was a center for career development just for the School of Music. So I worked there for almost 3 years. And during that time, I met and interviewed unbelievable people. Like sometimes I really need to take a step back and be like, wow. Some of those people include Joshua Bell, Jamie Barton, Larry Brownlee, the violinist Midori, administrative staff from the Cleveland Orchestra, Klaus Heyman, who is the founder of Naxos, yes, that Naxos, and many, many more. The center did presentations and workshops on a lot of things I wish I would have paid attention to sooner as a student, and that's some basic things like resumes, bios, headshots, web design, all that type of stuff. But one of my favorite parts is that we really went deeper into certain topics that maybe as a young student I felt embarrassed to ask about, and they really, really opened my eyes to a lot of things. And some of these series that really stick in my mind are the Mind and Body series that we had that really focused on the importance for mental health as well as physical health for classical musicians, and how we are more similar to athletes than we think. And that's the direction that I want this channel to go into, where we can really dive into some of these deeper topics that sometimes don't get discussed as much as they maybe should be. I will for sure do some videos that cover some of the more basic topics, and maybe that might not be for everyone, like bios, resumes, CVs, headshots, websites, that type of stuff. And that's more for people that maybe they're out of school or they're in a school that doesn't have a career development program that is kind of tailored for musicians. So I really want to focus on some of those topics that aren't always addressed in those places. And a lot of times when you're younger, in the beginning phases of a musical career, you're not even thinking about. At least that was the case for me. And so we're going to talk about topics like living on the road and out of a suitcase. People, there's singers and musicians that are living 9 months out of the year sometimes out of a suitcase. How do they do that and survive? Dealing with rejection, that's a big one no matter what phase you are in during your career. Balancing that home and work life, boy, that's a big one. As well as bringing some experts on social media and branding. So really the sky is the limit with this, and that's why I like to keep Operatunity very general, so we kind of don't close anybody out. Technology! I am a huge tech and gear nut. When I first started my photography and videography business, I was really on a tight budget, and I kind of still am, but I definitely grabbed some stuff along the way. I've tried some really expensive things as well as some really cheap things that I think perform almost just as well. And so I want to use some of my knowledge to help you create some quality products with some gear that's really, really cheap. I know that Zoom right now is super popular, and I love seeing all the videos people are making with that. And so maybe I'll show you some cool tricks that you can do with Zoom as well, and show you maybe how to incorporate a nice camera that maybe you already have and use that as the webcam instead of maybe what's built into your laptop that's not that great. iPads. I am also a huge iPad user and have really been using this thing almost exclusively for the past like 2.5, 3 years for all my music needs. And actually, this video that you're watching was edited on the iPad because it outperforms stuff like my 2015 MacBook Pro. It's truly unbelievable what these little puppies can do. And finally, finance. I can literally probably hear some of you clicking out of this video now, but hang on just for a second. So finance is actually a huge passion for me. I think as freelancers, it's really hard to make money sometimes. And so it's extra important to really make your money work for you. And so I'll talk about some basic things that maybe you guys already are doing, like savings accounts, but I will give you options with some high yield savings accounts that might be doing even up to 20 times the interest of maybe the account that you're having if you're using maybe one of the big banks, kind of like Chase or Bank of America. Now for the scary word, retirement. Oh boy, I know it seems kind of weird to be thinking about retirement when you're less than 30, but that's actually the best time. We'll try to make this topic a little bit less scary, and we'll address a lot of things like what type of accounts you should get. Like maybe you'll go with traditional IRA, a Roth IRA, maybe those things just sound like alphabet soup to you. Don't worry, unless you've been truly avoiding the news, there's no way that you haven't heard something about how the stock market has absolutely plummeted and that this is one of the worst falls that we've had in years. The good news is that if you had no assets to begin with, there's never been a better time. And so we'll talk about that over the next couple weeks. And finally, one of my personal favorites, credit cards. Credit cards are literally some of the best tools out there for freelancers. You know how maybe you want to relax and watch videos of puppies? I watch videos on what are the best credit cards out there for different scenarios. Give me all that judgment. But seriously, if you treat a credit card the right way, They can protect your purchases, add warranties to things, give you help when you're traveling, like stuck with luggage or travel delays. Once I had a flight that was delayed for 16 hours. Credit card company gave me $500 to get a hotel, Uber, something to eat, and even a new shirt for the next day. And that was all $0 out of my pocket. And of course, the miles and points game. Maybe you have parents that are really into it or a friend, but it blows my mind sometimes how just making purchases on certain credit cards that you were going to do anyways can really add up into having free vacations and experiences that are unbelievable. That's right, you can treat yourself and have the most bougie experience that you want without feeling guilty about having to pay for it later. You made it to the end. Thank you for sticking with me through all of that. Those are just some of the topics that I would love to cover over the next couple months on this channel. But now we're getting to that part on what do I need? And the thing is, I need you. That's right, you. As you can hopefully see, I'm trying to go for that really pro look. I know maybe I stumbled some with this video because it's literally my first video ever, but I really want this to be something that turns into a really amazing community of people. If you can and help me out, and please subscribe either down here, somewhere, you know, and hit that little bell icon so that you are notified when new videos come out. Also, share this video with your people on Facebook and Instagram and kind of get my name out there. If you think this is cool and some of the topics that we'll talk about and maybe it's helpful, give it a thumbs up. If you think this sucks and this was a complete waste of your time, awesome, give me a thumbs down. Also, if you want to help me out and go down to the comment section, and then I can create content that you're actually interested in and answer some of your own questions. That wraps it up, y'all. Thank you so much for watching my very first YouTube video ever. Thank you for hanging in there. It will get smoother. I will get less nervous. I'm Rafael, and this is just the beginning of Operatunity.